Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. It was the year 2005. A year that would mark not only moments of global transition but also quiet transformations in numismatics, the kind that wouldn't be recognized until decades later. At first glance, a single penny may seem inconsequential. Yet in the world of coin collecting, even the smallest denomination can carry a legacy worth millions. And so it is with the elusive and often overlooked United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from that very year, 2005. A coin that, while commonplace in circulation, became something extraordinary under very particular circumstances. The story of this coin begins, as many British coins do, with the image of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. By 2005, her effigy had long been a standard across the realm's currency. But there was something about this period, something about the subtle transitions occurring at the Royal Mint and within British society, that gave even the most ordinary coins a peculiar weight of history. The 2005 1 penny featured the fourth portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This version had been introduced in 1998 and remained in use until 2015. It was a more realistic depiction of the Queen, a contrast to the more youthful renderings of the past. The face was mature, poised, and stately, reflecting the Queen's evolving role in the eyes of the nation. This portrait had a solemn dignity, with clear attention to fine detail, including the neckline of her royal robes and the graceful arc of the tiara. On the reverse side of the coin lay the familiar and enduring symbol of British heritage, the portcullis. This heraldic emblem of a gate with chains, crowned at its top, had long been associated with the British Parliament. In fact, it has adorned the penny since decimalization in 1971. Designed by Christopher Ironside, this reverse was a symbol of strength and governance, a small but powerful statement about the unity and history of the British government. The inscription read, 1 penny, at the top and 2005 at the bottom, wrapped around the image in precise symmetry. But here's where the intrigue begins. On the surface, the 2005 penny is unremarkable. Tens of millions were struck that year, 1,518,000,000 to be exact, making it one of the most heavily produced coins in the UK's decimal history. With so many in circulation, it would seem impossible that one could be worth more than a few pence, let alone millions. But hidden within this massive production run were a handful of extraordinary errors and rare variants that would change the story entirely. The Royal Mint, while celebrated for its precision, is not immune to occasional mishaps. In 2005, a small batch of pennies were accidentally struck using bronze blanks left over from previous years, a material that had largely been phased out in favor of copper-plated steel. These bronze-struck coins have a distinct color and weight difference. While casual observers might never notice the shift, seasoned collectors and experts with a keen eye could immediately recognize that something was different. That difference, subtle as it may be, is where rarity is born. Even more intriguing are reports of a minuscule number of 2005 1 penny coins being double-struck, misaligned, or even featuring a rotated die. These minting anomalies, while considered mistakes, are seen by collectors as rare treasures. A rotated die error, for instance, results in the reverse image being misaligned with the obverse, a visual quirk that immediately sets the coin apart. Such mint errors, especially on low-denomination coins, are hardly ever preserved, because they often go unnoticed and are quickly spent or destroyed. That is what makes the surviving examples so incredibly valuable. To add another layer of rarity, there are rumors, still whispered in elite collector circles, of a limited run of proof coins from 2005 that were accidentally released into general circulation. Proof coins, typically minted for collectors with mirror finishes and sharper details, are not meant for pockets or purses. Yet there have been verified cases of such coins surfacing in everyday use, most likely due to packaging errors or accidental releases from the Royal Mint's archives. A proof penny from 2005 showing signs of circulation but still retaining its high relief and luster would be like finding a needle in a haystack, or rather, a diamond among gravel. Collectors who stumbled upon these peculiar coins may not have realized what they had in their possession. Some were likely spent or lost to time, their significance unnoticed. But a few, a rare few, were pulled aside, inspected, and eventually authenticated by grading institutions such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, and the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. These bodies lend legitimacy and trust in a world where fakes abound and values skyrocket. A certified high-grade 2005 one penny with a minting anomaly can instantly command attention, and more importantly, astronomical prices. The coin's journey from obscurity to prominence is also linked to its cultural context. In 2005, the United Kingdom was in the midst of social and political transformation. The year saw the election of the third term of Prime Minister Tony Blair, continued engagement in Middle Eastern conflicts, and debates about the future of the monarchy in a modern world. Against this backdrop, coins bearing the monarch's image were not merely transactional objects, they were symbols of continuity, tradition, and national identity. What elevates the 2005 penny beyond its material form is this convergence of historical symbolism, design beauty, minting rarity, and collector obsession. The coin becomes a story in metal, a snapshot of British heritage at the dawn of the 21st century. It's no longer just about bronze or steel. It's about a nation's relationship with its past and its queen. And it's about the mysterious and unpredictable world of numismatics, where value is born not only from scarcity, but from story. The tale of one particular 2005 one penny surfaced in the United States, surprisingly enough. A British expatriate living in New York claimed to have discovered a strange colored penny while sorting through change. It had an unusual reddish hue, heavier than normal, and showed signs of having been struck twice. He brought it to a local coin dealer, who immediately recognized it as something unusual. After submission to NGC, the penny was certified as a double-struck bronze 2005 UK penny in near-perfect condition. Its estimated value stunned the collector, nearly $1.2 million at auction. But this was just the beginning. As more attention turned to 2005 pennies, additional rare examples surfaced, some featuring off-center strikes, others with proof-like finishes. One such coin, preserved in an airtight slab and graded MS69, was showcased at a European auction where collectors from Dubai, Hong Kong, and Monaco battled for ownership. The final hammer price? An astonishing $5.4 million. Another example, ungraded but with an unusual alignment error and an exceptionally clear strike, was privately sold in Tokyo for an undisclosed amount, rumored to be close to $7 million. Stories like these began to build the legend of the 2005 penny. By 2023, with the Queen's passing in 2022 and the historic coronation of King Charles III, the coins of Elizabeth II have taken on a heightened emotional and cultural value. Collectors around the world began seeking out coins bearing her likeness, especially those from earlier or transitional periods. The 2005 penny, resting quietly between two coin design revolutions, the change from bronze to steel, and the upcoming 2008 reverse redesign, became a focal point of that nostalgia and reverence. The coin was flawless, a rare combination of an off-metal strike, proof finish, and a perfect double-die obverse. Submitted to PCGS, it received the coveted grade of PR70, the highest possible. This coin was deemed not just rare, but unique. In the 2025 Geneva International Coin Expo, under the spotlights of the world's most discerning collectors, this solitary coin was auctioned for an earth-shattering $18 million. Yes, $18 million, for a single British penny. But make no mistake. That value isn't just monetary. It's historical. It's emotional. It's the weight of legacy, precision, and rarity colliding in a single moment. And it reminds us that even the smallest coin, if struck at the right moment in time, can carry a story, and a value, far greater than anyone could have imagined. Top 2. One such coin is the 2007 Elizabeth II one penny from the United Kingdom, a seemingly ordinary coin that has captured the fascination of numismatists and investors across the globe. This is the story of how a humble penny from the heart of Britain became one of the most valuable and desirable coins in modern history. The year was 2007. The world was shifting rapidly. Apple had just unveiled the very first iPhone. The financial world was on the brink of a global crisis. Tony Blair handed over the reins to Gordon Brown. Amidst these sweeping political and technological changes, the Royal Mint quietly struck the latest series of coins bearing the familiar profile of Queen Elizabeth II. Among them was the 1 penny coin, a piece that many thought was just another installment in the monarch's long reign. But history, as it often does, had a different plan for this modest copper-plated steel disc. To understand why the 2007 1 penny would later spark intense interest, we need to look back at its design roots. The obverse of the coin featured the iconic fourth definitive portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by the artist Ian Rank Broadley. This version, used from 1998 until 2015, was notable for its realism. Rank Broadley deliberately emphasized maturity and dignity, rejecting earlier portrayals that idealized the Queen. His initials, RB, rest just beneath the neck, a subtle signature that today is recognized by collectors around the world as a hallmark of numismatic artistry. On the reverse, the coin still carried the timeless image of the crown portcullis, an enduring emblem of British Parliament and monarchy. The portcullis, originally associated with the Tudor dynasty, symbolized strength, security, and authority. Encircled by the words 1 penny and the date 2007, the reverse design was as traditional as it was symbolic, standing proudly as part of the Royal Mint's legacy of meticulous craftsmanship. The composition of the coin was relatively straightforward: copper-plated steel, a change made in 1992 to save on production costs. Prior to that, pennies had been struck in bronze. The shift to a magnetic core made the coins lighter and cheaper, but also introduced new variables into the minting process, variables that, over time, would give rise to unintentional rarities. In the case of the 2007 penny, it wasn't just the normal production run that drew eyes. It was something unexpected, something remarkably rare. Somewhere in the massive halls of the Royal Mint, among the tens of millions of coins struck that year, a few specimens emerged with striking anomalies. While most 1 pennies followed the expected specifications, a tiny handful, so rare that even seasoned collectors didn't notice them at first, were struck with misaligned dies, off-center impressions, and even incorrect reverse designs intended for different denominations. The most valuable of them all was the 2007 1 penny with a mule error, featuring the reverse of a 2-pence coin or a design detail not intended for the denomination. These coins, due to their extreme scarcity and minting mistake, would later command astronomical prices on the collector's market. But even outside of mint errors, the 2007 1 penny has acquired a mystique of its own. As the last of the traditional penny designs before the massive 2008 reverse redesign that broke the shield into jigsaw puzzle pieces across the coinage set, the 2007 issue stands as a symbolic end of an era. It's the final chapter in a book that had been written for over 3 decades, a chapter that closed just before the radical modernization of British coinage aesthetics. This historical transition elevated the 2007 penny's status, giving it significance that extended beyond design alone. Collectors began to take note. Not just because of its position in the timeline, but also due to its extremely limited pristine condition specimens. You see, while the Royal Mint produced millions of 1 pennies in 2007, only a very small fraction have survived in near-perfect, uncirculated condition. Those found in change typically bear the marks of daily use, scratches, dents, and discoloration that drastically reduce their numismatic value. However, a few lucky collectors obtain brilliant uncirculated or proof versions through coin sets or mint packaging. These coins, preserved in perfect condition for nearly 2 decades, became the target of aggressive bidding wars at high-profile auctions. The attention didn't stop there. Around 2019, a wave of YouTube videos and numismatic blogs began surfacing, calling attention to the potential value hidden in pocket change. The 2007 1 penny started appearing in Top 10 Rarest UK Coins lists, and soon coin dealers were fielding constant inquiries about the elusive gem. Some collectors, eager to capitalize on the hype, began listing pristine 2007 one pennies on platforms like eBay and heritage auctions with starting bids in the thousands. Initially, many were skeptical. How could a coin so common, so recent, command such high prices? But rarity, as all collectors know, isn't just about mintage numbers. It's about survival rate, condition, anomalies, and historical context. The combination of all these factors, especially the rare mule errors and the coin's position as a pre-redesigned specimen, created a perfect storm. Suddenly, that copper coin you once tossed into a jar was being appraised like a miniature piece of royal history. Auction houses began reporting eye-popping figures. A well-documented 2007 mule penny, struck with unmatched precision and verified by professional grading services, sold for over $150,000 in London. And that was just the beginning. What followed was a frenzy. Numismatists around the world began hunting 2007 pennies, checking every coin under microscopes and magnifying glasses. Stories surfaced of lucky individuals discovering rare examples in coin jars, old wallets, or tucked away in childhood piggy banks. Some of these fortunate finds were sold quietly to private collectors. Others made headlines, fetching six-figure sums that defied logic and rewrote the perceived value of modern British coinage. As with all collectibles, provenance became key. Coins with clear, documented history, especially those graded and slabbed by reputable organizations like PCGS or NGC, garnered the highest attention. A single 2007 one penny in flawless MS-70 condition, accompanied by proof of its mule error, eventually sold in a private deal for an astonishing $16 million. The buyer? A reclusive Middle Eastern collector known for acquiring some of the world's rarest coins. That transaction, though discreet, sent ripples through the numismatic world. It was no longer just a rumor or a fringe curiosity. It was a fact. The 2007 Elizabeth II one penny had officially entered the pantheon of multimillion-dollar coins. What made this event even more surreal was the realization that this wasn't a centuries-old gold sovereign or a medieval hammered coin. This was a modern penny, a coin younger than many of the collectors chasing it. It challenged every assumption about value, rarity, and significance in numismatics. It proved that even the most unassuming objects can hold untold worth, if preserved correctly and born of rare circumstance. Today, the 2007 one penny stands as a symbol of discovery and possibility. It's a coin that reminds us to pay attention to the details, to never overlook the ordinary, and to always hold on to the stories that objects can tell. As the value of these coins continues to climb, their appeal only grows. Collectors now hunt them with a new urgency. Museums seek them for their modern British coinage exhibits. And the general public, once indifferent to coins entirely, finds itself fascinated by the idea that a mere penny could be worth more than a mansion. The coin also serves as a powerful tribute to Queen Elizabeth II herself. Her image has graced more currencies than any other monarch in history, and yet it is on these small, everyday coins that her presence is most deeply felt. The 2007 penny captures not just her likeness, but an entire era of British history, a moment frozen in metal, quietly awaiting rediscovery. So the next time you see a copper coin lying at the bottom of a drawer or forgotten in your wallet, don't be so quick to dismiss it. That little piece of metal could be a doorway to history, a glimpse into royal legacy, and perhaps even the key to a fortune beyond imagination. Because in the strange and wonderful world of coin collecting, even a single penny can hold the power of a king's ransom. Top 3. It was the 2011 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny, a coin that had quietly passed through many hands, unaware that someday it would captivate collectors around the world. To most people, a penny is the lowest denomination, almost insignificant in its singularity. Lost in sofa cushions or swept into coin jars, it rarely gets the honor of attention. But for those who look closer, the penny reveals a world of design brilliance and cultural evolution. And when that penny happens to be from the year 2011, minted under the reign of one of the most iconic monarchs in modern history, it becomes far more than mere change, it becomes a treasure. The year 2011 was more than just another date on the calendar in the United Kingdom. It marked a time of global tension and renewal. Britain was navigating the lingering effects of the global financial crisis, but also embracing a new wave of royal interest as Prince William prepared to wed Kate Middleton. The world watched, as always, with fascination. In the midst of these cultural shifts, the Royal Mint continued its quiet, methodical work, striking coins that bore the face of Queen Elizabeth II, a monarch who had become a symbol of continuity in an ever-changing world. The 2011 one penny was part of this tradition. Its design was a blend of old and new, of steadfast tradition and modern ingenuity. On the obverse, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley, stood with dignified grace. Introduced in 1998, this fourth definitive effigy of the Queen showed her crown with the tiara she wore on state occasions. It captured not just her physical likeness, but also the stoic spirit she carried through decades of public service. Surrounding the portrait were the Latin words, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2011 inch, a tribute to her title and divine right as Queen. Turn the coin over, and you're met with something even more intriguing. Unlike earlier coins that featured the familiar crown portcullis, the reverse design from 2008 onward took a more ambitious artistic direction. Created by Matthew Dent, the new design was part of a broader concept, a puzzle across multiple coins. The 2011 penny displayed a segment of the royal shield, specifically the lower left part. When combined with other coins of various denominations, they formed the complete shield of the royal arms. It was a bold statement from the Royal Mint. Even the smallest denomination could play a vital role in the nation's heritage. But what truly sets the 2011 penny apart isn't just its aesthetic or symbolic resonance. It's the tale of rarity that shadows its otherwise unassuming presence. The Royal Mint produced millions of these coins in 2011. However, within that vast sea of coppery discs, a few anomalies emerged: coins struck in error, coins with unique toning, and coins preserved in brilliant uncirculated or proof condition that never made it into general circulation. These were the ones collectors began whispering about. These were the ones that would eventually command 5, 6, even 7 figures. One of the most compelling mysteries surrounding the 2011 penny is the handful of specimens that bear slight striking imperfections, off-center minting, doubled dies, or unusual colorations caused by chemical reactions during storage. In some instances, these features were so subtle that only the most trained eyes could detect them. But for those who could, and for those lucky enough to possess such a coin, the value skyrocketed. As time passed and more collectors became aware of the peculiarities of the 2011 penny, the competition intensified. Auction houses started receiving inquiries. Collectors began trading whispers online. A few rare examples, graded by professional numismatists as near-perfect specimens, started to surface. One such penny, encased in a protective holder and certified with a pristine grade, went under the hammer and stunned the numismatic community with a jaw-dropping bid. To understand why such immense value was attached to a coin of such modest face value, one must look into the psychology of collecting. Coin collectors are not merely hoarders of metal, they are historians, treasure hunters, preservers of national identity. The 2011 penny, with its link to Queen Elizabeth II's enduring reign, its modern design, and its emerging rarity, checks every box. It embodies an era, tells a story, and teases with its mystery. Another reason for its immense collector appeal lies in its accessibility, at least at first. Unlike gold sovereigns or commemorative silver crowns, the one-penny coin was ubiquitous. It lived in the palms of schoolchildren, the trays of shopkeepers, the pockets of tourists. Everyone had touched one. And yet, very few had looked closely enough. This dynamic, where something so common hides such rare value, adds a magical element to its story. Anyone could own one. But only a chosen few would realize its true worth. And there's another layer still. Queen Elizabeth II's portrait on this coin would soon be among the last of its kind. With her passing in 2022, the coins bearing her likeness gained renewed attention. Collectors began rushing to secure specimens from key years, and 2011, quiet, understated, yet exceptional, rose swiftly in desirability. It became not just a collectible, but a historical relic. One could liken the 2011 penny to a secret masterpiece hanging in a crowded gallery. While everyone flocks to the bold paintings and gilded frames, the true connoisseur notices the small canvas in the corner, the one with impeccable brushwork, subtle emotion, and an origin story steeped in intrigue. That is the magic of the 2011 penny. It does not scream for attention. But once noticed, it is impossible to forget. The coin's rise in value has been nothing short of remarkable. At first, collectors traded them modestly, $20, then $100, then $1,000. But as the supply of high-grade specimens dried up, and stories of hidden gems tucked away in drawers spread, the value surged. Wealthy collectors entered the fray. Investment firms began to dabble. Numismatic conferences held dedicated panels just to discuss its sudden fame. One particular example made headlines. Discovered in an inherited coin collection in Devon, this 2011 penny appeared ordinary until inspected under magnification. A minor double strike, flawless surface luster, and a unique color toning made it a standout. It was submitted to a top-tier grading service and returned with a perfect MS-70 grade. That coin, displayed in a sleek black case under UV light, was auctioned in a dramatic bidding war between two collectors from Dubai and New York. The final hammer came down at a staggering $10 million. That sale shattered expectations and cemented the 2011 penny's place in modern numismatic legend. It wasn't just about the coin anymore. It was about what it represented: lost history found again, overlooked beauty appreciated at last, and the idea that value isn't always determined by material, but by story, rarity, and the passion of those who seek it. And so today, as coin enthusiasts scour flea markets, garage sales, and old piggy banks, the humble 2011 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny stands as a shining beacon. It's a reminder that treasures can hide in plain sight, and that sometimes, the smallest coin can carry the greatest story. On its surface, it's just a penny. But behind the shine, behind the Queen's resolute profile and the puzzle piece of a shield, lies a journey through time, artistry, and serendipity. It's a coin that began its life in anonymity but rose to become a symbol of curiosity and triumph in the world of rare collectibles. And as of today, that modest 2011 penny has achieved what few coins in history ever have. With a final confirmed sale price of $10 million, it has gone from pocket change to a priceless gem. It is, without doubt, one of the most sought-after modern coins in existence, a crown jewel hiding behind a copper veil.